which can be added to servlet context object, servlet request object, and HTTP session object. Attribute is a variable in servlet programming which can be added to servlet context object, servlet request object, and HTTP session object. An HTTP session object, which can be added to 3 locations indirectly. The following are the methods related to attribute. The following are the methods related to attribute. The following are the methods related to attribute. Here. First, I'll show that methods to you. See there. Whenever I want to show servlet API, always I am entering into 8. I am setting temporary path in 8. I am setting temporary path. Java P, Java X dot servlet dot HTTP dot HTTP session. You can see here bit clearly. Set attribute. Can you see one method? Set attribute. Get attribute will be there somewhere. Get attribute. Remove attribute. Get attribute names more number. Like this. 4 methods are available. Make it set attribute. Set attribute. Get attribute. Now get attribute names. Get attribute names. Now remove attribute. Remove attribute. Remove attribute. Set attribute. Get attribute names. Remove attribute. These are the 4 methods related to attribute. 4 methods related to attribute. Now look here. Now set attribute. Make it set attribute. Set attribute method is used to add attribute. Is used to add attribute to objects, nothing but servlet objects. These 3 objects only: context, request, session. Add to objects. Set attribute method is used to add attribute. Attribute means here variable only. Non-primitive data type variable indirectly. So method signature. method signature, method signature. So format, how this format available? So set attribute, you had it here. Set attribute, make it public, abstract, void. Set attribute of java.lang.string, java.lang.object. Throws not there. Java.lang.object. This is attribute name. This is value indirectly. Attribute name, attribute value. So get attribute. Get attribute method is used to get attribute from the objects. Get attribute from the objects. Method signature. Method signature. Get attribute method is used to get attribute from the objects. Method signature. See there. Get attribute here. Get attribute return type is object. Public, abstract, java.lang.object, get attribute of java.lang.string, like this. So return type of this get attribute is object. Get attribute names. The syntax is like get INIT parameter names. I draw the diagram now, same. Get attribute names method is used to get all attribute names from the objects. All attribute names from the objects. Method signature. Method signature. Here public, abstract, java.util.enumeration, java.lang.string, get attribute names. Get attribute names. The syntax. Return type is enumeration. You can see that get attribute names here. Return type is enumeration of a string coming from util. So remove attribute. Remove attribute. Remove attribute method is used to delete attribute from the objects. Remove attribute method is used to delete attribute from the objects. Attribute from the objects. Method signature. Method signature. So public abstract void. Public abstract void. Remove attribute. Remove attribute of java.lang.string. Remove attribute of java.lang.string. Why I given a method signatures in the notes means here this is important. Get attribute method. Return type is what now? Object. That point you should remember. Okay, right. Remaining normal only anyway. Remaining two methods are void and one is enumeration, but this is object. Right. Now, so attribute means one variable you can add it. One variable you can add to one object as a code writer. Okay, right. Now see. Now, whatever the attribute available in the context, whatever the attribute available in the request, whatever the attribute available in the session, they'll ask scope. Scope of attributes. One question is there. Scope of attributes. Scope of attributes. Scope of attributes. Attribute is a term used by UI engineer, means UI developer, nothing but UI trainer will use a word attribute. Database people also will use attribute. So Java servlet programmer also will use attribute. For us, attribute is a variable. One variable that can be added to three objects: context, request, and session. The answer. Now, scope of attribute. Scope means this attribute can be used by whom? That's called scope. Scope means this attribute can be used by whom? It's a concept. Now see there. The attribute in the servlet context, you know. Servlet context, only one object created. Servlet context, only one object created. And the servlet context content can be used by all the servlet programs, they can use it. So if I keep one variable in the context, what is the scope now? The scope is total application, means everybody can use that variable. So scope of attribute in servlet context is application scope. Application scope means all the servlet programs can use that variable. Make it. First one is attribute in servlet context. Servlet context object will have application scope. Will have application scope. Underline the term application scope, which means all the servlet programs, all the servlet programs of web application can use all attribute in servlet context object will have application scope, which means all the servlet programs of web application can use attributes in servlet, can use attributes. 1 minute. Attribute in servlet context object will have application scope, which means All the servlet programs of application can use attributes. Enough. Second one. Second one is attributes in your request. So you have a attribute in the request. Attributes in the request will have request scope. Request scope meaning is nothing but we had a forward communication. Forward means the request is moving from one servlet to another servlet. Whatever the attribute added to the request can be used by the next servlet program in your forward communication. That's the meaning. Make it. So attributes in servlet request object will have request scope. Which means the attributes in servlet request can also be used by next servlet program in forward communication process. Attributes in servlet request object will have request scope, which means the attributes in servlet request can also be used by next servlet program in forward communication process. So servlet 1 added the attribute to request and forwarded. Means the attribute available to next servlet also in forward communication. That's the meaning. Session. Attributes in HTTP session object will have session scope. Underline the terms application scope, request scope, session scope, which means attributes in HTTP session object is available from user login to user logout. Login to logout. The attributes are available from login to logout. That's called session scope. Once the logout done, the attributes are not available. That's the meaning of it. This is theoretical. Attribute is one variable in servlet program which can be added to context object, request object, session object. There are 4 methods related to attribute. Set attribute for adding, get attribute to getting the attribute. More attributes are there, we can get the names, get attribute names. Whenever you want to delete it, delete attribute, we call it as remove attribute, we add a method. If I keep one attribute in the context, that is application scope, everybody can use it. If I keep one attribute in the request, that is request scope. In forward communication, the attribute will be moved from one servlet to another servlet. Or session scope, we call it. Session scope means login to logout, where we are entering maybe today. So point. So this is theoretical information to you till now. Now make it define request FAQ. Define request. Right. Sir, this is web browser. Where our user or client we are imagining. This is our servlet. Where request is coming from here to here. This only we are calling this request, no? They'll ask define request. The query which is generated by the web browser to the server program or servlet program is known as request. This request is categorized into two types. Request, how many types will be there? Two types. One is post request and one is get request. Method is equal to two types are there, no? Form, action, followed by method. How many types are there now? Post and get. Means developer will decide. If I write get, I am raising get request. If I write post, I am raising post request. So request how many types now? Two types. One is post, one is get. Make it. Define request. The query, you can say query, no problem. Query means question. Not only structured query language. Query English meaning is one question. Don't go to database again. Query. The query which is generated by the client to server program or servlet program is known as request. The query which is generated by the client to server program or servlet program is known as request. Here, types of requests. Types of requests. Requests are categorized into two types. Are categorized into two types. One is post request. One is get request. One is post request and one is get request. Post and get. Two types of requests available to you. One is post request. One is get request. post request, the request which is generated to send the data to server, is known as post request. The request which is generated to send the data to server is known as post request. If you are sending the data to server, we call it as post request. So when you are sending the data when you are sending the data through post request, sir, what kind of data I can send it? You can send any type of data. Any type of data means all data formats you can send. Simply we can say binary stream data you can send. Means what? Text, audio, video, image, animation. Through post request, you can send any type of data because it comes under binary stream data. Make it through post request, through post request, we can send any type of data, any type of data. We can send any type of data, which means we can send, all file formats. We can send all file formats like text, audio, video, image, and animation. All files you can send through post request. Through post request, we can send any type of data, which means we can send all file formats like text, audio, video, all you can send it post request. Sir, how much data I must send? Is there any limit or no limit? Unlimited, limit not there. Through post request, you can send unlimited data, limit not there. There is no limit for post request. Make it. The protocols will carry unlimited data and go on the network. So through post request, we can send unlimited data. We can send unlimited data. There is no limit for data to send through post request. Right. Data in post request is secured. Whatever the data you are sending through post request, secured because the data is encapsulated to body of HTTP protocol. I mean, the data is kept inside the body of HTTP protocol. It is a more secured, especially your login forms. Username, password, credit card details, debit card details, you are submitting from your internet sources. The protocol will take the data and keep in the body. Whenever it want to keep in the body, you must raise post request. If you forget to raise post request, attackers will take it. So that should be inside the body of HTTP protocol. Whenever you want to keep inside the body of HTTP protocol, as a code writer, you must raise post request. Post request is secured. Make it. The data in post request is secured. Is secure because the data is encapsulated. English meaning and don't think it is object oriented feature again. Encapsulated means bind. So the data in post request is secure because the data is encapsulated to body of HTTP protocol to HTTP. Right. So the data is secured. Now, when the post request is coming, means not coming, how to raise this post request? Already you know, no? In the form tag, we must write what now? Method is equal to post, right? Use the following syntax to raise post request or to generate post request. Post request. You know already. Form tag action is equal to URL. Method is equal to post. Equal to post. And some lines will be there followed by some form tag. Right. Now, so draw the box and keep it for that form tag and so on. For notes purpose, you draw the right. Here we use do post method from HTTP servlet. We use do post method from HTTP servlet to accept post request. All of you understood the statement? Do you remember HTTP servlet? Which is the extension of generic servlet. It provides three lifecycle methods. One is init followed by do post or do get or service followed by destroy. Now we use do post method from HTTP servlet to accept post request. Now method signature protected void do post Java X dot servlet dot HTTP dot HTTP servlet request Java X dot servlet dot HTTP dot HTTP servlet response throws Java X dot servlet exception and Java dot IO exception. Isn't protected void do post Java X dot servlet dot HTTP dot HTTP servlet request Java X dot servlet dot HTTP dot HTTP servlet response throws Java X dot servlet dot servlet exception IO exception. So this is about your post request. Quite opposite to post, we call it as get. The request which is generated, the request which is generated to get the data from the server. The request which is generated to get the data from the server is known as get request. Get request. Right. So get request means we'll get only character stream data. So it gets what kind of data now? Character stream means it supports text data. Through get request, we can send only text data. We can send only text data, which means only character stream data. It cannot send total. That only make it true. Look here, the best example, Google search engine only. If you want to search here, what you'll search? What you'll type there? Text only, no? Sir, I'll type voice. Voice is there, no here. Voice also converted into text only. Have you observed that? Search. Hello, na? Hello. Getting or not now? Right. You're searching no text form only. So download JDK. Getting no? It is converting into text or not now? It is. I'm giving and it is getting the data. That all, get request. What kind of data you can send now? Text only. Can I upload image? Not possible. No? Can you upload image there? Not possible. So even if we upload image also, it will be converted into text only. So text only, we can send get request means text only. How much data you can send? Sir, limit, sir. You cannot load all at a time there. Not possible. Limit. You must send not only 2 KB or 4 KB or 8 KB data. You can send it. Not more than that. You cannot send it. So there is a limits to you. Make it. All of you understood get request. Your search engine is get request only. Right. Through get request, we can send only text data. Only text data. That also limit will be there. Nowadays it became 8 KB, but previously it is 4 KB only. Nowadays, search engines also becoming very stronger nowadays. UI engineer also becoming very stronger nowadays. Okay, right. Because they had also have some buffering is there. Many frameworks came and so on. Nowadays, it has been increased to 8 KB nowadays. Make it. Through get request, we can send only limited data. You cannot send all limited. Through get request, we can send only limited data, which means 2 KB data or 4 KB data or 5 KB data. Through GET request, we can send limited data, which means 2 KB or 4 KB or 5 KB. Not 5 KB, sorry, 8 KB. To forget it. Right. Now, it is not secure. The data is not secure. The data is exposed. Means we can see the data directly. GET request data. You can see in the address bar. Whatever I speak here, and you can see in the address bar now here. Can you see? Address bar. Whatever I speak there, the address you can see there. Whatever I speak, you can see. Suppose username, password you raise it, GET request, your password will be displayed. Directly passwords will be displayed. So GET request do not have a secured because it should be exposed. Means the user should see know what is searching and so on. Make it. You know already. This is maximum construction happens in Java flavor only. Java flavor. Now, whatever I am speaking here, download JDK. Here one address will come. This address. This address also our session track only. Our session track address. This is URL pattern. Daily writing a servlet URL, that only. URL pattern. These are the parameters. Any CS students are there? Generally, I'll be scolding CS students. Indirectly, they'll understand or not, I don't know. Because you had one algorithm, came into university by 2006, price algorithm. Many people don't know. I know. CS department student also don't know. But the TRICE algorithm came into university around 2004 to 2006. Then it came to research into all universities. Then came to search engine. Search engine is TRICE algorithm only. Research that only. If you type K here, all combinations will come. Of course, recent searches will come. This is TRICE algorithm only. That is very good explanation available in your books. CS students books will be there. Okay. You are all safe. The reason tools came now. Automatically connected coming, sir. I am not there in a tool design. Headache not there, sir. If tool design is there, subject is needed. Generally. If you are using one tool, subject not needed. Automatically connection only. So all algorithms came into research anyway. Just I am giving information to you here. Them also price. This pattern available to you. We are entering already. This question mark, address, what is this symbols? We are entering. Next tracking that only. Okay, right. Because the request is coming. Not secured. It is shown to you. It is shown. Everything is shown to you in the address bar. So not secured. Make it. The data in request, in GET request, data in GET request is not secure. Not secure. Because it is displayed in address bar of web browser. It will be displayed to expose to the user. It will be displayed. The data in GET request is not secure because it is displayed in address bar of web browser. Now, these are the four major points anyway to be remembered. Now, we use we use we use the following four syntaxes to generate get request. We use the following four syntaxes to generate get request. Yeah, right? Get request. Right. First one is right. Using method is equal to, write it. Method is equal to get. Method is equal to get inform tag. Inform form action is equal to URL. Method is equal to get. Like this. Right. Right. Don't write any method attribute. Method is not there. So using form tag without method attribute. They can also say attribute only. Right. Okay. Without method like this. Using form tag without method attribute. Here method not there. When you submit one form like this without writing any method, that is get request only. Without writing any method, that is get request only. If you write a method is equal to get, that is get request. If you submit one form without method attribute, that also get request only. Third one. So I written one program now, view all employees. I written one program. That program I brought to you to show database connection with one JCF, Java collection framework. That is a major intention. That is incomplete only. That's only one way I given. Remaining all I'm bringing attribute I brought now. Now I'm dividing the types of request, means I'm entering into HTTP protocol. I'm entering that header forms will come. The diagram will come to you. So then I'll give the notes. What is server side script? What is client side script? That theoretical will be discussed. First one I will never say that. If I say also, you never understand. So starting students will not understand. Some programs, if you keep on seeing, one idea will come to the student. Then we can speak it, the theoretical. That's my approach actually, because I not given huge notes on HTTP. If I give notes also, student will be weaker in that sector, no? Generally, one graduate student also don't know what is HTTP protocol, headers, formats, how many protocols are there, how many layers are there, how IEEE standard figure will be there. That kind of knowledge student will not have. They will not carry also. From graduation study, they will not carry that knowledge. We know that already. So why to stress him by writing a huge notes what he is not understanding? So first make him to run one program. That is my approach. First, if we keep on practicing something, error will come, some answer will come. So slowly through flows, we'll educate the state of object. It's coming, loading like this, we educate it. Slowly, we draw the diagram of HTTP. That's the target I made now. Why special I am entering now? Yesterday I given a diagram already. HTTP session cookie. The two objects should come inside. If I want to bring the two objects are from HTTP protocol. They deals with HTTP protocol directly, and they are from the sub package HTTP. They are from the sub package HTTP. Because of this reason, I divided the request into two parts. One is get request is there. One is post request is there. The student should know. First day one means that last week, I not given this specification. Just one request is coming. Use one service method. Accept it. Do some work. Already you are doing the work. Now I am dividing and coming. The third way, view all employees I written. Whenever I am writing view all employees, I written one anchor tag. href is equal to view I written. Through href, I am raising one request to servlet program. Means href is linking one servlet program. Your HTML trainer will say href will link another HTTP page, he will say. What I given information through that program now, through href, you can link one servlet program and you're raising one request. What request means? Get request. What is that request now? Get request means using anchor tag. Using anchor tag. If any request raised, if you use any anchor tag and raise the request, that is known as get request. If not, using hyperlinks, you can say, make it. Using hyperlinks. Using hyperlinks. Nothing but href. We written already. Anchor tag. href is equal to view we written already. So here, view all employees. I done already. And close the anchor tag. This kind of request comes under get request. Now, the fourth one. The fourth one. Using servlet servlet URL pattern in address bar. Using servlet URL pattern in address bar. Whenever we type one servlet URL pattern in address bar, one request will be generated. The request is get request like this. There are four ways to you. Of course, we are going to use this pattern. This one also I'll show to you somewhere the situation I'll show it. This one already used is a point. So requests are how many types now? Two types. What are they now? Post request and get request. Which one is secure now? Post is secure. Whenever you want to send any sensitive information like your username, password, or credit card details, debit card details, when you're trying to submit to a server, the request must be post. Then only security will be there. Get means give small information, base that information, huge data will be coming back. That's called get request. Get request do not have security, moreover not needed also, because you are getting and showing to for that other given not security for get request. Like this, few information about your request and so on. Your last point, we use do get method. Do get method to accept. Do get method. We use do get method from HTTP servlet to accept get request to accept get request. A child of servlet request. It is a child of servlet request. HTTP servlet response is child of servlet response. But okay, right. Now star mark IMP. Define session. Define session. The time interval. The time interval between login to logout. The time interval between login to logout is known as session. The time interval between login to logout is known as session. Generally, if we take our classrooms, generally, our slots are actually your slot is 11 to 1. That is your slot. But 11 to 1, we never run. No. Session different. So whenever I start, that is a session. I may start by 10, 11, 20, 11, 15. I may start it. Sometimes I'll end the class by 11 to 12:30, 12:35, 12:40. It's called session. Session means login to logout. That's called session. All are logged into your Paytms or phone pays. You're not yet logged out now. That's right. Means session is live there already. Session is live. When you say log out, then the session ends. So the time between login to log out is known as session. That's the meaning. Okay, right. Now, up to now, you are writing something, but user login to log out not there. Make it. Define session tracking. Define session tracking. Define session tracking. The process of tracking the state of user, the process of tracking, the state of user, the process of tracking, the state of user in session. Session means login to logout. Whenever I say the word session, login to logout. Your banking websites will be there. Yes or no? Right. Generally, banking websites will be there. Now I logged into one banking app. Example. I logged in. My session count started. They're expecting I'm going to do some operation. I'm not doing. I kept it. Right? After some time, my session expires automatically. Understand this point? Right. So for all banking websites, session is there for me. I'm not using anything. I'll show that session expired. So here what is happening is to take Paytm. Paytm, now this session expires within few milliseconds. I earned and I kept it in my mobile phone. I'm not touching. So banking website people will use one timer. Within the timer, if I'm not doing anything, they'll calculate one timer. Automatically, they will log out. The reason, security problem. Now the server connected to my mobile phone. So already that username password traveled and came already. Now that connection is listening my account. My mobile phone is a node from Airtel network. To that Airtel network that has been interconnected to my some Bank of India. I'm having BOI bank. I don't know that bank. BOI means Bank of India only. Right. I'll use different banks. BOI, BOB I'll use. BOB is Bank of Baroda. I am a trainer for it. I'll use that BOB. Now, BOB is complete Java. Right. Even that employee new recruitment happened. Any IT sector, they'll come for open source training only. Like biggest Naresh ITs and so on. Naresh IT is a partner already. South Indian Railway partner and South Indian banking. When the user do any action, we'll cross check. He has been logged in or not. Logged in means go. Not logged in means I'll say your session expired, log in and come, I'll say. Like this, we have to track the user. If we keep on tracking the user, that is known as session tracking. As a trainer, I'm going to train you how to track the user until he logs out. That's only your concept. Right? Okay. The process of tracking the state of user in session is known as session tracking. Known as session tracking. See there, message. Your session has been timed out. Please log in again. Message is coming. You cannot see it, but roughly, if any banking apps are there, you can check it out. So generally, any huge amount, if I want to transfer, I'll use banking app only to transfer. I will not use PhonePe. I'll use Paytm. I'll use it. I had a Paytm bank. I had it. I'll do transaction in Paytm, and I'll use this mobile banking apps. I'll use it. They had their banking apps. If anything goes wrong, I'll send my loader to here. Bank is there or Bank of India. Because Naresh Shetty is partner of Bank of India. That also. All amounts will go to Bank of India for them. But anyway, the process of tracking The state of user in session is known as session tracking. All of you understood this statement first, right? For every action made by the user in the session, we have to track whether he has been logged in or not. Then you have to give the permission. That concept we call it as session tracking. Sir, how to do this session tracking? There are 4 ways to track the user. In servlet, we had 4 ways. One is cookie. One is HTTP session, the tool I written. Third one is URL rewrite, hidden form fields. In the employee, I kept one edit delete no. That I'm going to write with this session track because I stopped that. Write it. The following are some important session tracking techniques in servlet programming. Session tracking techniques in servlet programming. The following are some important session tracking techniques in servlet programming. One, cookie. 2, HTTP session. 3, URL rewrite. That URL rewrite is Google search engine. That's why I shown the and that only. URL rewrite is a tracking used by the Google search engines. Right. One is hidden form fields. FIELDs. In your HTTP, HTML trainer will train the form tag where input type is equal to hidden. Have you trained that? Input type is equal to hidden, that only hidden form field. That hidden form fields will be in the background. They carry the information and go without your knowledge. That introduction will be done by HTML trainer will introduce input type is equal to hidden, where the information not displayed to the end user, he says and stops. But that HTTP hidden form fields today, not HTTP, HTML hidden form fields today, without your knowledge, in the background, they carry the data from one servlet to another servlet, they'll be moving. These are the 4 techniques available to you for you. All of you understood this theoretical now, right? So we are starting with the cookie, the concept. Can I start tomorrow this one, right? So cookie definition, types of cookies, how to start cookie session track. So I'm start typing the application slowly. It takes 2 days time to you. Tomorrow, Wednesday, Wednesday, Thursday, one complete picture will come. What we are doing means one assignment I given in JDBC. Do you remember? User registration. Do you remember? That assignment solution I not provided there.